My dear brothers and sisters, there is a hidden secret in the Quran, one wrapped in simplicity, sweetness, and divine wisdom. It's the secret behind the grape, a fruit we pass by in markets, place on our tables, and often eat without thinking. Yet Allah mentions grapes repeatedly in the Quran, pairing them with paradise, sustenance, gratitude, abundance, and spiritual insight. Allah did not choose this fruit at random. He chose it as a symbol, a reminder, and a sign of how He works in your life, quietly, precisely, and perfectly. Grapes do not grow overnight. They require seasons, sun, rain, pruning, patience, and quiet nurturing. And this is where the secret lies. Allah is showing you that blessings like grapes ripen in stages. They are prepared behind the scenes long before your eyes ever see them. You may think nothing is happening, but beneath the soil of your life, Allah is aligning, arranging, and preparing something sweeter than what you asked for. Think about the vine. Before it produces anything sweet, it goes through hardship. It is twisted, pruned, and cut back. Without that cutting, it will never produce sweetness. Maybe that is you right now. Allah is pruning your life, removing people, trimming opportunities, cutting habits, and closing doors. Not because your life is falling apart, but because He is preparing your harvest. He is shaping you into someone who can hold the blessings He is planning to give you. And grapes teach us something else. They ripen only when they are exposed to both light and heat. Ease alone does not mature the fruit. Hardships alone do not mature the fruit. It is the combination that produces sweetness. Maybe the heat in your life, the pressure, the stress, the uncertainty is not destroying you. Maybe it is ripening you. Sometimes Allah delays a blessing not because you are being punished, but because He wants you to taste it at the perfect time. A grape picked too early is sour. A blessing received before its time can become a burden. So Allah waits, even when you are begging Him to hurry. He waits until your heart is prepared, your character is strengthened, your faith is deepened. And then, just like the vine, He makes everything bloom at once. There are moments in life when you feel lost, wandering, unsure of where life is taking you. But Allah sends signs just like He sends rain to the vineyard. You open the Quran one day, and a verse hits your heart so precisely it feels like it was sent just for you. A lecture reaches your ears at the exact moment you are about to fall apart. A stranger says something that answers a private dua you made quietly at night. These are not coincidences. These are divine reminders. Allah saying, I see you, I hear you, I am with you. When Allah mentions grapes in the Quran alongside the rivers of paradise, He is telling you that the sweetness you taste in this world is only a tiny sample of what He has prepared. If He can make something so small so sweet, imagine what He has stored for you when you are patient, steadfast, and sincere. So prepare for your harvest. Purify your intentions. Strengthen your prayers. Protect your tongue. Guard your heart. Trust Allah even when you don't understand His timing. The vine does not question the seasons, it simply grows. And you too must grow, trusting that Allah is guiding your every step. Because the one who makes grapes sweet can make your life sweet again. The one who ripens the fruit can ripen your blessings. The one who sends rain at the perfect hour can send relief at the perfect moment. Your harvest is coming. Your season is approaching. And Allah never disappoints a heart that relies on Him. Grapes in the Quran may appear simple at first glance, just another fruit mentioned among the signs of Allah's creation. But when you pause and reflect, you realize that Allah never chooses an example without purpose. Every mention is intentional, every detail is precise, and every symbol is a doorway into deeper understanding. Grapes are not only sustenance, they are a spiritual metaphor woven seamlessly into the Quran to open the believer's eyes to the secrets of divine timing, growth, and the unfolding of Allah's plan. When Allah highlights grapes alongside blessings in paradise, or when He pairs them with reminders of gratitude and provision, He is drawing your attention to a hidden message that what appears ordinary carries extraordinary meaning when seen through the lens of faith. Grapes symbolize growth that is slow but purposeful, sweetness that emerges only after a long period of unseen development, and blessings that mature in their own perfect season. Grapes do not suddenly appear overnight. They emerge quietly, gradually, in stages that cannot be rushed. And this mirrors the way Allah works in your life. You ask, you hope, you make dua, and yet from the surface it might look as if nothing is changing. But beneath the soil of your destiny, Allah is arranging things with such precision that you would be overwhelmed if you saw it all at once. The grapevine teaches you to trust the unseen, to believe in what is growing even when you cannot yet see the fruits. It tells you that what is meant for you is being prepared in silence. Just as grapes form slowly in the hidden world of roots, branches, and sunlight long before the harvest arrives, Consider the nature of grapes. They require balance, sunlight, water, warmth, and pruning. Too much of one and too little of another will affect their growth. Allah uses this fruit as a symbol that blessings are not merely granted, they are cultivated. When Allah mentions grapes, He is reminding you that blessings do not come only through ease or only through struggle, but through a balance He designs perfectly. Just as grapes need pruning, your life needs moments of cutting away losses, setbacks, disappointments, and changes you didn't want but needed. Without pruning, the vine grows wild and produces weak fruit. Without discipline, hardship, and refinement, a believer cannot reach their fullest sweetness. The grape becomes a reminder that what is being removed from your life is not destroying you. It is preparing you to carry blessings without breaking under their weight. The Qur'an often places grapes in the context of gratitude, urging you to reflect on the blessings you overlook. Grapes grow in clusters, not alone, a subtle sign that Allah's blessings come in pairs, in groups, in waves. One blessing opens the door to another. One moment of patience unlocks multiple forms of relief. One sincere dua can transform several areas of your life at once. And just like grapes hang visibly on the vine once ready, your blessings become clear and abundant when the right moment arrives. Before that, they remain hidden, still forming, still developing, still ripening. Understanding this helps you develop the patience that faith requires. You stop obsessing over timing and start focusing on preparing your heart for whatever Allah has written. When Allah mentions grapes in the descriptions of paradise, it is also a reminder of His generosity. Grapes are delicate, sweet, easily spoiled, yet they have existed for thousands of years as one of humanity's earliest cultivated fruits. Their endurance is itself a sign that Allah sustains, protects, and renews blessings across generations. They carry within them a message that sweetness lasts when Allah wills it, and that what He provides is never random. The grape becomes a small but powerful symbol that Allah's care reaches every detail of creation, including you, your struggles, your dreams, and your future. Through this fruit, Allah gently teaches the believer to trust deeply, reflect thoughtfully, and recognize that even the simplest creation holds a secret meant to guide the heart back to Him. Every person goes through seasons in life, and just like the grapevine, these seasons are not random. They are orchestrated with wisdom, precision, and mercy. The vine does not bear fruit all year long. It goes through periods of quiet growth beneath the surface, moments when nothing looks promising, and phases where the branches appear dry and lifeless. But those who understand the process know that these seemingly barren periods are necessary for strength to develop within the vine. Allah places believers in similar seasons because what He is preparing for them requires time, patience, and internal transformation that cannot be rushed. When you look at your life and see delays, unanswered prayers, or stillness, you might believe that nothing is happening for you. But in reality, Allah is preparing you for a blessing that needs maturity of heart, clarity of mind, and depth of faith before it can be safely placed in your hands. A grapevine cannot hold the weight of its fruit until it has been strengthened, supported, and shaped. Likewise, there are blessings you ask for that would overwhelm you if they arrived prematurely. You may pray for success, but without humility it could lead to arrogance. You may pray for love, but without healing it might cause attachment to the wrong things. You may pray for financial relief, but without discipline it might slip through your fingers. Allah delays blessings not to deny you, but to protect you from receiving what you are not yet ready to sustain. Every delay hides a mercy, and every unanswered dua hides a transformation. Even when you feel frustrated, ignored, or forgotten, Allah is cultivating something inside you that will allow you to carry your blessings without them becoming a test you cannot handle. Just as grapes develop in stages from blossoms to tiny berries to full clusters, your blessings unfold gradually. You may not notice the subtle changes in your character, but Allah sees the patience you are learning, the strength you are building, the wisdom you are gaining. These internal changes are like the strengthening of the vine, unseen but essential. If a farmer looked at a vine in winter and judged it by appearance, he might think it was dead, but he trusts the process. He knows the potential hidden inside. Allah asks you to trust Him in the same way. When life feels barren, it is not a sign that your story is over, but that another stage of growth is taking place within you. The external quietness often signals internal preparation, and Allah never allows preparation to go to waste. The season of waiting is often the most difficult, because the heart struggles with uncertainty. You might compare yourself to others whose blessings seem to ripen faster, whose lives seem full of color and abundance while yours looks empty. But the vine reminds you that every plant has its own timeline. Grapes grown in harsh conditions often become sweeter than those grown in comfort because hardship deepens their richness. Your challenges, delays, and disappointments are shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and capable of holding blessings with gratitude instead of entitlement. Allah tailors your seasons to your soul, giving you exactly what you need at the exact moment you need it. There is beauty in knowing that Allah's timing is not based on your impatience but on His perfect knowledge. He sees the dangers you cannot see, the outcomes you are unaware of, and the future you have not yet reached. He aligns people, opportunities, and moments in ways you could never imagine, ensuring that everything arrives exactly when your heart is ready. The season of delay is not a punishment but a preparation, and the one who understands this walks with far more peace, trusting that Allah's plan is unfolding even in silence. There is something profound hidden within the sweetness of grapes, a quiet reminder that even blessings can carry tests within them. Grapes appear soft, delicate, and delightful, yet the process that brings them into existence is filled with pressure, heat, pruning, and struggle. Allah uses this fruit to teach the believer that not every sweet moment in life is free from challenge, and not every hardship is devoid of sweetness. The balance between the two is where the true lesson lies. Grapes remind you that life is not meant to be one-dimensional. Ease alone does not build faith, and hardship alone does not break a believer. Instead, Allah weaves both together so that your heart can grow, your character can refine, and your spiritual maturity can deepen in ways it never would if life was simple and predictable. The sweetness of grapes does not come naturally at the beginning. Early on they are bitter, hard, and unripe. Only after enduring the right conditions, the right amount of sunlight, and the right amount of heat do they develop sweetness. Similarly, the sweetness in your life often follows phases of difficulty. You grow through challenges that soften your heart, clarify your intentions, and humble your ego. You learn patience when things take longer than expected. You learn gratitude when you finally receive what you once prayed desperately for. You learn compassion when you experience the pain that others hold silently. Every emotional struggle, every disappointment, every delay becomes a form of spiritual ripening, shaping you into someone who can appreciate sweetness when it arrives. Without hardship, blessings often go unnoticed. Without struggle, gratitude loses its depth. Without pressure, you may never recognize the strength Allah placed inside you. Grapes are also vulnerable. They bruise easily, spoil quickly, and require constant care. This vulnerability mirrors the human heart. Allah gives you sweetness in life, love, opportunities, friendships, comfort, but He allows tests to come with them. A relationship may bless you with companionship, but test you with patience. A job may elevate you financially, but test you with humility. A dream may come true, but test your discipline and sincerity. Blessings are not meant to make you complacent. They are meant to draw you closer to Allah, to remind you that everything you hold is from Him and can only be preserved by turning to Him. Grapes teach you that sweetness without remembrance becomes a trap, while sweetness anchored in faith becomes a gift that elevates the soul. When Allah gives you something sweet, He may test you to see how you protect it, appreciate it, and use it. A blessing can either become a means of drawing closer to Allah, or a distraction that pulls you away. This is why He sometimes adds small challenges within blessings to keep your heart awake, humble, and dependent on Him. Just like a vine that cannot survive without its roots, you cannot sustain your blessings without remaining connected to the one who granted them. The test is often not in receiving the blessing, but in keeping your heart pure while holding it. The grape also teaches you that sweetness and bitterness can coexist. Think of how the vine must endure pruning, how the soil must endure seasons of dryness, and how the fruit must endure heat. Yet the result is something delicious, nourishing, and refreshing. In your own life, the trials that surround your blessings do not diminish their sweetness, they enhance it. The pain behind your smile, the effort behind your success, the patience behind your answered prayer, these are what give your blessings meaning. When you taste relief after hardship, it is sweeter than if it had come instantly. When Allah finally opens a door after years of waiting, it feels like a gift wrapped in mercy. The grape symbolizes this beautifully. The idea that goodness is often layered with struggle, and struggle is often layered with goodness. There comes a point in every believer's journey when Allah sends a sign so precise, so perfectly timed, that it feels impossible to dismiss as coincidence. These moments are not random. They are divine communications placed gently into your path to remind you that you are being guided, watched, and cared for. Grapes in the Qur'an serve as a symbolic reminder that Allah's signs are often simple, natural, and easily overlooked unless your heart is awake. Just as a vine grows gradually until its fruit becomes visible, Allah's guidance often arrives subtly before it becomes clear. You may not realize how closely He has been steering you until you look back and see how everything aligned in ways you could never have planned on your own. This recognition builds a deeper trust, a certainty that even when life feels confusing or stagnant, Allah is arranging events with wisdom beyond your understanding. Sometimes the signs arrive in the form of a verse that suddenly hits your heart differently, even though you have read it dozens of times before. Other times it's a lecture you happen to hear at the precise moment you were struggling to hold yourself together. You may open your phone and find a reminder that speaks directly to the worry you hid from everyone. Or you may meet someone by accident, whose words, presence, or actions give you exactly what you needed to move forward. These are not accidents. These are gentle touches from Allah, the one who knows which moment your heart is most receptive, which words will reach the deepest part of your soul, and which encounters will shift your direction just enough to bring you closer to what He has written for you. Just like grapes ripen slowly before suddenly becoming sweet and visible, the guidance of Allah often builds quietly until it becomes unmistakable. You may spend months feeling lost, confused, or directionless, only to realize later that every step was leading you to a moment of clarity. It's like walking through a fog only to discover that the path was paved the entire time. Often you receive signs long before the blessing arrives, patterns and messages that whisper to your heart, telling you that change is coming, that relief is near, that Allah is preparing something for you. These signs create hope, but they also create responsibility. When Allah sends a reminder, it's not just to comfort you, it's to wake you up, to push you toward rectifying your heart, your actions, your intentions, or your relationship with Him. His signs are invitations, opportunities to reposition yourself before He unfolds the next chapter of your life. There are also moments when Allah sends signs through hardship. A door closing is a sign. A relationship ending is a sign. A job slipping away is a sign. Not every sign comes wrapped in sweetness. Sometimes Allah removes something because it would have destroyed you, distracted you, or pulled you away from the path meant for your soul. The removal itself becomes guidance, even if it hurts in the moment. Grapes teach us that pruning is a necessary part of producing something better. When Allah cuts something from your life, it is with the intention of allowing something more suitable, more beneficial, and more spiritually nourishing to grow in its place. If a vine resisted pruning, it would remain weak and fruitless. If you resist Allah's redirection, you remain stuck in places that cannot bear the fruit He wants to give you. Then there are the signs that come in moments of unexpected peace. When your heart feels calm in a place that once caused anxiety, when you feel drawn towards something without knowing why, when you suddenly find clarity over a decision you've struggled with, Allah is guiding you. The heart of a believer is a vessel that Allah can steer, soften, or strengthen as He wills. He places tranquility where He wants you to move forward, and He places discomfort where He wants you to step back. Recognizing these emotional shifts as signs allows you to walk through life with more clarity and less fear, knowing that Allah is not only watching over you but actively participating in your journey. Signs are everywhere, just as vines are everywhere in nature. But only those who observe, reflect, and remain connected to Allah recognize them. The more sincerity you have in your dua, the more purity in your heart, and the more effort you put into seeking Allah, the clearer these signs become. They begin guiding your choices, healing your confusion, and strengthening your trust. You start seeing that nothing is random, nothing is wasted, and nothing is delayed without purpose. Each sign becomes a reassurance that you are not walking through life alone. Allah is guiding you with a gentleness greater than you can comprehend, illuminating your path, with reminders that arrive exactly when your heart needs them the most. Preparing for your harvest begins long before the blessings become visible, just as the grapevine is tended months in advance before a single cluster appears. When Allah is preparing to send you something beautiful, He first prepares you to receive it. This preparation is not just about outward actions, but about the state of your heart, the clarity of your intentions, and the sincerity of your relationship with Him. Grapes do not ripen in chaotic soil or tangled vines. They need space, nourishment, and careful tending. Likewise, you cannot expect blessings to flourish in a heart filled with resentment, arrogance, heedlessness, or spiritual neglect. Preparing for your harvest means cleansing your heart, aligning your purpose with Allah's pleasure, and creating within yourself a place where blessings can land safely. This inner work is a sign that Allah intends goodness for you, because He guides the one He wants to elevate. One of the greatest ways to prepare for what Allah has written for you is to strengthen your trust in Him. Trust is not passive. It is an active surrender that shows itself in your choices, your reactions, and your consistency in worship. Trust means praying even when you feel tired, giving even when you feel uncertain, and holding on even when life feels heavy. It means waking up for Fajr when no one sees, making dua when you feel weak, and purifying your intentions when your ego tries to take over. These small acts of obedience soften the heart and make it receptive to the sweetness Allah is preparing. A vine cannot produce sweetness if it is deprived of sunlight, and a believer cannot taste the sweetness of Allah's blessings if their heart is deprived of worship. Every prayer becomes a beam of light, every act of patience a drop of nourishment, every moment of gratitude a breeze that strengthens your spiritual roots. Preparing for your harvest also means letting go of what blocks your growth. Just as dead branches must be removed from the vine, harmful habits, toxic environments, and unhealthy attachments must be pruned from your life. Sometimes Allah delays your harvest until you remove what is draining you. It may be a habit that weakens your faith, a relationship that distracts you, or a mindset that keeps you stuck in fear and self-doubt. Holding on to what harms you prevents you from receiving what will heal you. The pruning process can feel painful, just like the vine might seem wounded when cut back. But that very pruning is what allows new growth to emerge. When you surrender what Allah is asking you to let go of, you create space for what He wants to give you. Another essential part of preparation is gratitude. Gratitude is like water for the vine. It sustains, refreshes, and multiplies blessings. Even before your harvest arrives, express gratitude for the small everyday blessings Allah has already given you. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present, and that shift alone transforms your heart into fertile ground. The more grateful you are in moments of waiting, the more prepared you become for moments of receiving. Allah promises that when you are grateful, He will increase you, and that increase may come in forms you never expected, but always needed. Patience is also a key element of preparation. Grapes do not ripen instantly, they go through stages that cannot be skipped. Likewise, your blessings come in phases: awakening, preparation, slow growth, subtle shifts, and then suddenly they appear. Patience means trusting that Allah's plan is unfolding even when you cannot see it. It means resisting the urge to rush, to force outcomes, or to settle for less than what Allah has written for you. Impatience can lead you to pick your blessings too early, just like picking grapes before they are ripe results in bitterness. When you exercise patience, you allow Allah's timing to bring you something far sweeter than what you would have chosen prematurely. Finally, preparing for your harvest means believing wholeheartedly that Allah's promise is true. It means expecting goodness from Him, hoping for ease even in difficulty, and believing that your effort, your prayers, and your perseverance are not in vain. Allah never wastes the tears you cry in sujood, the effort you put into self-improvement, or the trust you place in Him during uncertainty. Every moment of sincere intention, and every step taken toward Him becomes part of the unseen preparation for a blessing that is still on its way. When the harvest finally arrives, it will not only be the sweetness of the blessing itself that moves your heart, but the realization that Allah prepared you, shaped you, tested you, and nurtured you so that when it came you could receive it with gratitude, humility, and a heart fully anchored in Him.